Hello, and welcome back to another video on the Demonless channel. This month we will cover notable events that happened in the month of December 2021. So without any further ado, here's Ender with the main story.
For this month's main story, we have a reoccurring annual community event hosted by Viprin and others, that being the annual GD Awards. The nominees represent some of the community's best work, including several levels and players. This year, we also saw the addition of the story category, which is for levels that display a sort of journey. As with every year, the winners will be voted by the community. However, let's look at some of the highlights in the nominees. For the Best Extreme Demon Award, we saw 6 amazing extreme demons. Broken Signal by Grax, Myocardia by Tuffy, Rush by Loltad, Novasphere by Clonext, Rust by Nageview, and Elf by Sergeiaster, Notelsa, and Dienid. All of these extremes have something in them that makes them special, so great work to all of the creators. Finally, let's look at the best player nominations this year. To start off, we have Crisis. They beat a number of different extremes in 2021, including several top 10 demons, so this is a highly deserved nomination. Similarly, Judy Wolf was nominated, who also beat several top 10s this year. Next, we have RG. Becoming the first person to dethrone the previously #1 player N-Switch this year, they definitely deserve their spot. Moving on, we have Yossarian. Being the first victor of VSC, as well as beating some really hard extremes, they have really shown the world what they're capable of. It's nice to see the challenge community get some recognition for their achievements, so GG to them. And lastly, Trick GMD and Space UK were nominated. Trick GMD verified the insanely difficult level Firework while beating a number of other hard levels, and Space UK absolutely crushed it this year, completing a huge amount of extremely difficult levels at the top level, including verifying the current #1 demon Slaughterhouse. Make sure to congratulate all the players that got nominated this year, as well as all the other nominees for the rest of the categories.
The holiday season's hit us in December with billions of people and millions of Geometry Dash players around the world celebrating fun holidays like Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Yule, and so many others. The holiday season brought about many players receiving gifts such as new hardware, and with this we have seen an influx of players trying new ways of playing the game with this hardware. Some controller and keyboard players have been switching to mouse and vice versa. Another thing that this holiday has brought to players is higher refresh rate monitors, and we cannot wait to see what these players are able to do in the future with their new hardware. Now, without any further ado, let's dive into some upcoming levels which have seen progress this month. Starting off with an extremely well-known mega collab which was first started over 3 years ago, Knight Rider by Elam Anubis and more has finally been finished. After multiple previews, a creator contest, and a few months of relative silence, Anubis released a video to showcase the finalized version of Knight Rider, just in time for the new year. The video included a montage detailing the level's history, as well as a full detail recording of Knight Rider. The level boasts colorful and intricately designed parts, tied together by stunning background artwork and the cyberpunk theme. The colors of each part become more and more vibrant as the level progresses toward its drop, matching the song's energy. Singing at just under 3 minutes long, this level truly does push the boundaries of GD levels in theming and decoration. Overall, it's exciting to see this project in all its glory, and we hope the level will be released soon for everyone in the community to enjoy. It is set to be verified by Luigi DB, so wish them luck. Next up, it's time to shift gears to another level which has been gaining some traction lately. Black Flag is an extreme demon by Nikon and more, and a preview showing the level in a near-complete state was released on December 26th. Black Flag adopts plenty of pirate and ocean-themed art and designs, and the level features a wide variety of creators and styles. The level is very energetic and contains no lack of fast-paced gameplay. Seeing as almost all of the level's parts have been decorated, it appears that we might be seeing its verification in progress very soon. Either way, Black Flag is a really cool level based on a very interesting concept, so don't forget to wish the team behind it luck on finishing and releasing this project. Thirdly, it's time to revisit a much older level which has recently seen some pretty significant progress. Descent into Exile is an upcoming extreme demon which is being co-hosted by Ice Cave and the one and only Riot. If this level sounds familiar to you, that's because it's been in the works for quite some time. Prior to this burst in activity during late 2021, the level was last seen in a $C preview way back in February of 2018. and now, nearly 4 years later, it seems the inclusion of new creators has breathed new life into this ancient project. A full recording of the level was uploaded to Ice Cave's YouTube channel on December 16th, as well as the complete list of the creators who worked on this fully decorated version. The level is almost entirely black and white with very consistent theming and a polished atmosphere. It's great to see such an old level finally finished, and best of luck to the verification. And last but not least, it's time we discuss Beyond Hell by Fake IWNL and more. Beyond Hell, as its name suggests, is a hell-themed extreme demon. It features a slightly darker aesthetic with occasional splashes of pink and purple to add some variance to the colors. The level effectively conveys its eerie atmosphere through intricate and layered designs, and the rough-sounding music complements to this feeling of desperation. As of December 2021, Fake IWNL has 60% on Beyond Hell, so wish them luck for the verification. Congratulations to the creators for completing this level after over a year, and let's hope this level receives its due recognition from RobTop soon.
A good amount of fascinating levels were released this month, the first being the Hell Trinity by Stormfly. The original layout of this was uploaded 4 years ago, and is yet again another addition to the famous Hell series. Unlike most other levels in the series, the Hell Trinity stands out by using a purple color scheme instead of the typically red, orange, and black color schemes used for the other Hell levels. The next level is Verdant Landscape, which is created and verified by Nisha. This level is inspired by the legendary 1.9 level Windy Landscape by Rugi, and retains most of its main features, like hard timings and symmetrical dual gameplay, but brings it up to another level in terms of difficulty and decoration. It has been rated and is expected to place in the top 15, so good luck to anyone planning on trying it out. Coming up next is Storming Summit, a phenomenal mega collab hosted by Nimbus and Colorbolt and verified by Aussie. This level is based off of the platformer game Celeste, and maintains similar types of gameplay and design as the game. Even the song is inspired by Celeste. The way the creators were able to incorporate this style into GD so well is extraordinary, and it's great to see this finally finished after nearly 2 years of work. It's been epic rated on the servers and is planned to place near the middle of the list, so if you think you got what it takes, definitely try it out. Next up is New Record, another mega collab, which was hosted and verified by Temp, started all the way back in 2019. The level has very sync and spam based gameplay, especially in the first half, and the designs of the level reflect the year's worth of work put into it. It was also rated on the 26th of December, so if you're willing to try a potentially list-worthy extreme, go for it. The last release level, but certainly not the least, is SAKUPEN Circles by Nick24. It was verified after an astonishing 220,000 attempts by insanely skilled player Diamond on the 29th of December, the tail end of 2021. I'm sure you all have heard that it got rated and placed at number 1, but that'll be covered more thoroughly in the January video.
This month, Opaque, Cerzia, and Schmon joined the list team as helpers. The month of December saw very few list changes. First off, D-Diamond was placed at 79, above Lucid Chaos and below Dark Flare. Then, Pandemonium was moved up from 149 to 137. Berserk was later revived from the Legacy list, now sitting at 133. Dubcore X then got placed at 75, between Erebus and Sunset Sandstorm, and Chroma Finale was moved up from 57 to 49.
This month was filled with big achievements, so let's go through them. Slaughterhouse. The top one currently has finally had its first victor by Doggy, taking him over 60,000 attempts. This must have been torture for him, so give some huge props to Doggy for beating this monstrosity of a level. Firework has also seen victors such as GoKill beating it in 41,000 attempts and Crisis beating it around 46,000 attempts. This level is also a monster of a level, so 2 people beating it in a month is crazy. Huge congrats to them for pulling through. Next we have Trueffet, having 1 victor this month being Snowballer, beating it in a decently low attempt count of 24,000. He is also the first person to beat in Australia, so GG's to him. We had 1 Tartarus victor being Trick. Even if Tartarus has been moved down, doesn't mean this level is anywhere near easy, so big congrats to Trick for beating Tartarus. Arcturus is one victor being Speedy Muffin, taking him over 360,000 attempts. This dedication is incredible. Him pulling through is amazing. Wish him good luck with his future endeavors. The Golden had only one victor, being ZA1LX, taking him around 27,000 attempts and fluking from 62. And Hard Machine also having one victor, being Tag Master, taking him only 17,000 attempts but having 2 brutal deaths at 94%. Huge GG's to both of them for beating his levels. This month had 2 victors of Zodiac, being Kelvin for beating it on controller, which makes it the hardest level beaten on controller, and Tombstone being the first German victor. Last month we also missed Whisker and DT Dom for Zodiac, so big congrats to them too. And last, we have Kinos having 3 victors this month and 2 that we missed last month. The players that beat it this month were Zanny, Trick, and Zaki Chan, and those we missed last month were Jaeger and Smile GD. Big props to them and everyone else for beating levels in the top 10. There is also huge progress on Silent Clubstep, with Vision getting 15 to 100. We are only getting closer for someone beating the unthinkable.
New Record is a mega collab hosted by Temp and based on a viral layout they made over 2 years ago titled High Score. Because the gameplay of this level is such an important aspect, we've decided to split this review into 2 halves, gameplay and decoration. Rockhole will cover the gameplay, while I, Rocipher, will break down the decoration. Now without further ado, I'll hand the mic over to Rockhole.
Before I say anything about New Record, I just want to include this little disclaimer. I've seen plenty of people claim contradictory opinions about how buggy the level is or not, as well as with issues like balancing, sync, and more. I will be basing this review solely upon my own personal experience with beating the level, which I don't feel is any more or less valid than any other victors. Now, on with the review. I'm willing to admit that I'm kind of a temp gameplay fanboy, but I can assure you that that's all warranted. I'll start at the pre-drop, which is the part I found to be the hardest. It's been a common take among players that pretty much any level with a difficult pre-drop is unfun to play from zero, but in the case of New Record, this unbalancing is necessary. With the amount of spamming required at the drop, I'm glad the pre-drop was so hard because I knew my hand would be aching otherwise. While it is true that the pre-drop is somewhat choke point driven, I'm willing to cut Temp some slack for this one, as the parts they didn't buff would have been horrible to play if they were made any harder. Now on to the drop. This part is the only reason this level isn't a 10 out of 10 for me. Some sections are just completely free, and others are significantly harder only due to one click. The wave at 22% is the first remotely hard part of the drop, all due to the one yellow portal at the end. Then, it's pretty easy until the spider at 26, where the already tight timings get really awkward to execute due to some invisible slopes that have no reason to be there. Afterwards, it's all pretty easy until the area at 38, where there's a faster feeling spam than the other 2 horizontal bar bits and a blind shift click. Dying there can be quite frustrating as it isn't super skill based. Then we get to the worst and hardest part of the drop, where these 5 spider clicks are way too tight for their own good. If you manage to be lucky enough to get past them, you have to deal with this wave spam, which is not only awkward due to your hand position, but has these jutting out slopes that makes the part super RNG to play. This is the only part of the drop I would consider bad, just due to how much the jankiness affects the difficulty. The rest of it is easy if you pay attention to the jump indicators, and then you get to the best part of the level, everything that isn't the drop or pre-drop. To be fair to those 2 parts though, not only is the pre-drop just hard and good, but everything in the drop that I didn't call bad is amazing. The first half of the level is still a 7 out of 10 for my taste. I know I've been a bit negative towards the drop, but that's because it harbors all the negativity I have towards the entire level, period. Post-drop sections are genuinely fun, as they are mostly non-spammy and well-balanced, aside from arguably the third wave section at 62, but I ended up getting pretty consistent at that anyway. The only gripe I have with New Record past the drop is the last blue orb, which is kind of just a me thing. I don't feel like an impossible last click has a justified place in the kind of level New Record is, and even though I didn't die to it, I feel the level would be better with it removed. It's also worth mentioning that I found the level almost completely bug-free, which contributes to my final rating. Overall, I'd have to give the gameplay in this level an 8 out of 10, which would be higher if the best parts weren't at the end. I still found it a blast to play though, as I felt those parts were still above average.
Alright, that's enough. And now onto the decoration. New Record is undeniably one of the highest quality design mega collabs that has been released on the servers ever. The level starts slow, with much simpler design sections, little to no movement, and light flashes of dimmer colors. It's worth noting that Temp and Verbet's parts are much older than any existing part in the level currently, and with the small deco adjustments made before verification, they hold up incredibly well. In fact, there are very few parts in the level that look significantly worse than any other part, And the level's quality is incredibly consistent, something that sadly is not done often enough. The transitions between parts are also, in most cases, incredibly clean. One gripe I could offer though is the lack of any saturated colors in Verbit, followed by an incredibly bright purple and Ice Age part, which simply doesn't mix well, but I mean, it's a minor issue. At the drop, the level picks up a lot more in terms of intensity, with incredibly bright neon flashes and colors and more movements and structures, and obviously more movement of the player itself. Ryu and M0's part is probably one of the best in my opinion, as the movement and flashes aren't overdone, but the colors and saturation of the blocks are incredibly clean, something that M0 has excelled at in other parts and other levels. Viral's part is a rather interesting one to me, which is based more on effects rather than designs. While the color combinations are a little bit odd, especially like the yellow and green pulses in the spider, they don't detract from the unique style that the part has. The monochrome section, however, at the end of their part also doesn't really quite fit, especially next to KWMS's part, which in contrast looks really amazing. Once again, KWMS uses amazing colors mixed with impressive block designs and movements. Like, I feel like I can't emphasize the color usage enough. It's so well done. I'm gonna skip ahead to Sminx's part, which is entirely effect-based. I would probably normally say the part doesn't fit too well with the rest of the level, but because of the excellent execution of the pulses, the arrow movements, the particles, and everything, really, it stands out in such a good way, I could never complain. It's the last part of the level that relies on effects rather than designs, and a good transition to the rest of the level. The remaining parts are all pretty similar to each other, with many more movements and blinding effects, mixed with bright colors that would probably give a player trying this past midnight a nice pressure headache. I do like how M0 added colored pulses in the blocks in HJ Fod's part, and how Pegasus' part is probably one of their best for sure. The end screen made by Yunsur is absolutely stunning, and every little detail, such as the leaderboard on the left and the color pulses in the center, it all contributes to the theme of the level, and it's the perfect ending to New Record, ending it with a bang. All in all, New Record is a very impressive level, and is in every way deserving of the hype it's received. The layout fits the song and atmosphere of the level incredibly well, the colors are stunning, and the designs are super clean and well made. I'm so glad that this level has finally been released, so make sure to give it a try and congratulate Temp for releasing this if you haven't yet.
This month's player shoutout goes to Lamp86. Lamp is possibly one of the most underrated players in the game right now, having many insane achievements like the Golden, Renovant, Fragile, and many more, while also being picked for some huge verifications such as D-Diamond and Shiketsu, yet she only has 733 subscribers as of this voicing. Be sure to show her some support. Last month, the Demon of the Month was RGB by Slay. Congrats to Aruni and R-Steel for being the fastest to beat it. This month we chose Crystal, an intense, fast-paced level by Zeronium. As always, the first 3 to beat this will be mentioned in the next highlights video. Good luck!
And that wraps up this month's highlights video. The writers and voices were Kutsu, Ender, Vic, SubzeroV, Floofle, Rockhole, Cunk, Rocipher, and CXN. The editors were Kutsu, Rockhole, Kooper, and LastPrisimAlex. Thank you for watching, and we can't see what's next for the new year.